This one a bit more complex, okay? A bit more complex. How do we know which Old Testament laws we still follow and not follow anymore? Okay, so how do we know which Old Testament laws we follow or not follow anymore? Example, in the past, they were given instructions not to eat certain animals, not to wear certain types of clothes. Now, we don't follow those, but still follow some. Example, not eating blood. Understand the question? Understand, Chloe? Okay, no. So Old Testament time, the person said, Old Testament, God say, you cannot eat pork, you cannot eat this animal, this kind of animal, that kind of animal. You cannot wear clothes that is mixed materials. He said Old Testament like that. How come New Testament? How do we know New Testament we need to be like that or not? Yet in Old Testament, yet in New Testament, some things God say, you still cannot eat. Okay? So he said, how to know? How to know? Actually, how do you know? Noah, how do you know? Maybe it's stated in the Bible somewhere. Okay, quite close. Quite close. By and large, the principle is this. Now, for sure, we know there are how many kinds of laws in the Bible. You must differentiate, otherwise you get confused. Okay? Now, this is a difficult one for some who have just joined Teens Q&A or have not been through BBK. How many kinds of laws are there in the Bible? Cornelius? Kinds. Okay, Cornelius miss. This one I asked adults. Eunice? Not clear also. Adults, further adults. Okay, John? Also forgot. What? I don't forget. Colin? Three, very good. 3 kinds of laws. What are they? Moral law. Example, the 10 Commandments for sure. 2, civil law. 3, ceremonial law. Okay, so everyone who are not familiar must know there are 3 different kinds of laws in the Bible. When you say law, you must know which one you're referring to. Okay? Moral law, 10 Commandments. We've been studying that. Civil law. What is civil law? Cornelius? Has to do with people in the land. Alright? Law of the land. Law of the land or country. Civil. Ceremonial. What do you guess it is? Who wants to guess? Okay, Samuel always wants. What is it? Ceremonial. For ceremonies. Today you're trying to trick me. Okay, ceremonies. Ceremonies, he's correct. All the ceremonies in the temple and so on. Alright, all the religious ceremonies. The religious ceremonies. Okay, so this is religious ceremonies in that sense. Religious ceremonies. Okay, so for example, moral law. We know 10 Commandments. I need to ask you. Civil law. Now, for example, in the Bible, if an Israelite steals 1 ox, he must return, based on the law of God for Israel, he must return 5 oxen. 1 ox, if you steal 1 ox, you must return 5. If you steal 1 sheep, you must return 4. That's the law that God gave to the Israelites. If you live in Israel, that is the law of the land. Who was the government of Israel? Xing Yun. Who is the ruler of Israel? God. It's theocracy, understand? So God gave them laws of the land. Laws of the land. Today, does this law apply in Australia? I don't know who wants to steal sheep. But if you steal 1 pencil, is there a law in Australia that says you got to return 5? No. That's a law. Okay, now you steal 1, maybe return 1, whatever. Okay, so the government say if your speed is over certain miles per hour or certain kilometers per hour, you pay this amount. You get deducted. How many points get deducted from your license, right? That's the law of the land. Okay? Civil law. So who can give me an example of ceremonial law? Today the kids are very tame. Too much lunch. Still Samuel.
Funerals.
Funerals. What do they do at funerals in the temple? Burn people. No. The children of Israel did not burn people in the temple. For example, the animal sacrifices, right? The animal sacrifices. Okay? So all these kind of law, different kinds of law. So now once you understand that, the person question is this. Now, how do we know today? When God says in the past, don't dress like that, don't dress mixed clothing, don't eat pork, how do we know it's not applicable today? But yet God says, back then, they cannot eat blood. But today, we are not supposed to eat blood, right? How do you know? Maybe today we are not supposed to eat pork also. So, Jaslyn, how do you know? Do you like pork? Do you like beef? Yes? Like kangaroo? How to know? Do you eat blood? No. Why? Don't say you don't like. Give me a better answer. Because you're not supposed to. Then how do you know? So the person said, it's true, I'm confused. Am I eating something that I'm not supposed to eat? I don't know. Am I wearing clothes that I'm not supposed to wear? As long as decent, it's fine. Am I not supposed to wear wool mixed with cotton, whatever? Silk? How do I know? Okay, so by and large, the principle is, now some things are very clear, they're ceremonial. Some things are clear, they are civil. Where God clearly states in the New Testament, you do not, then you know that law extends to the New Testament. Okay? When God clearly says that it is okay, means it is okay. Now let's turn to Acts chapter 10. Acts chapter 10. So the person asks, how do I know whether I can eat or cannot eat? Okay. Now, all the while, like this person asked, the Jews, they don't eat many of the animals because they were told not to in the Old Testament. But in the New Testament, God told Peter to eat anything. Okay, now let's turn to chapter 10 and read from verses 12 to verse 16, 12 to 16, reading. Wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air.
There came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common for unclean. And the voice spake unto him again the second time, What God hath cleansed, that call not thou common.
This was done thrice. Okay, so God showed Peter 3 times in a dream this big cloth or net with all sorts of animals in there. In the past, they cannot eat pigs, they cannot eat certain animals, but those animals appeared in his dream, and God 3 times told him, you can eat now, you can. So the person asked, how do we know? Because God said you can. All manner of four-footed beasts you can eat. Last time you very selective. So that's one we know. But how do we know that yet we cannot eat blood? Acts chapter 15. Chloe, you like to eat blood? Whether you like or not, should not eat. How do you know you cannot eat, Chloe? Because Acts chapter 15, verse 20. Let's read together, verse 20. But that we write unto them, that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornications, and from things strangled, and from blood. Okay, so the apostles say, we will tell the Gentiles You can eat anything. Now, you do not have to change your diet. Now that you have become a Christian, change my diet, I cannot eat pork anymore. Now they can, right? From here. But there's one thing that's forbidden. What is it? Veronica, what is it? Blood. Okay, so God specifically say, no blood. No blood. Yes. Wow, both at the same time. Yes. What's the question? Caleb put up first. Yes, Caleb?
But what if you have a blood nose and then some blood gets in your mouth and it's running?
So, okay, Caleb asked, what happens if you're eating chicken or some meat and then there's some blood and then it went into your mouth?
If you have a blood nose.
Oh, if you have a bloody nose. Okay. So Caleb says sometimes if you have bloody nose, what happens if the blood drips into your mouth and got into your mouth and you swallowed it? Okay, what question do you have, Noah?
I'm just wondering why, how come in the Bible they say eat blood instead of drink blood?
Okay, the question is this. Why does the Bible say eat blood instead of drink blood? Okay, you cannot eat but you can drink. No, not that. All right, very good question. Do you know today people eat blood? They cook the blood. So they have a pot of blood. They cook it. They add things so that it becomes like a jelly. I saw some of you eating red jelly just now. All right? Something like that. Then they go like that. Then they cut it up in cubes and they sell it. In Singapore, we eat it like that. Okay? So people do eat blood. People do eat blood in that sense. But the same is basically consume. All right? The meaning is consume. Don't consume blood. Whether it's some people like to drink. In those days, the temples, those pagan temples, they like to drink the blood of the animals.
What happens if you're in a hospital and they need to put blood into your body?
Okay, what happens if you're in the hospital and they need to put blood into your body? Okay, so very good question also. Now these are very genuine questions which I don't think about. Now this is talking about you want to eat and eat the blood. Eat the blood. But blood transfusion is they put blood into your veins. It is not so much you eating the blood. Okay, understand? Right. Now, so consuming blood, that is what God forbids. Consuming blood. Yes.
Just above it says from things strangled as well. Can you check it out?
Okay, so this one will have many questions. I haven't gotten to my point yet. So please look at the verse just now. Verse 20, chapter 15, verse 20. So you abstain from pollution of idols. We know no idolatry. From fornication. We know what that is. From things strangled. From things strangled. So just the other day I had a long conversation with someone. Oh, yeah. Okay, things strangled. What are things strangled, Veronica? Means like you catch a chicken, you want to eat the chicken. Instead of killing it, you twist the head. You strangle it. Then it can't breathe, or I don't know what animal, pig. Then you strangle it. Okay, don't let it breathe, then it die. Just strangle, cannot breathe, then the animal die. So they say don't eat animals killed this way. So the question is this. Does it mean if you buy chicken or beef or pork from Coles or Woolworth, you must look at the back label. How did they kill it? By slaughtering or by strangling? Oh no, they didn't say. So you call the manager. Can I speak to your manager, please? You know, how was this chicken killed? How was this cow killed? What is this thing about strangle? What do you think it is, Shama? Not sure. What do you think it is, Shalomia? Not sure. Your brother always wants to answer. Yes?
I think strangling is cruel.
Strangling is cruel. So what is not cruel? Not strangling. Is cutting the neck and let the blood flow out cruel? Which one more cruel? Strangling or cutting the neck and let the blood flow out? Cutting the neck is more cruel. It's not about cruelty. In fact, they're supposed to cut the animal and let the blood drain out of the body. Okay? But when you strangle, the blood remains in the body, correct? But you can strangle and then after that cut the body and let the blood flow out. So the point is not strangle or don't strangle. The point is, back then they kill the animal in a way they want the blood to remain in it. Then they will cook the animal with the blood and eat it with the blood. That's why it's called eat. Okay, Noah looks very grossed out. Alright? So that is the meaning. Understand? Is they kill it in a way which so that they can eat the blood with it. Now back then there are many reasons. Some are pagan, some are superstitious. They believe by eating it, they offer it to the gods and all sorts of things, alright? So they do that. The pagans do that. So God says you don't do that. Understand? That's about strangling. By and large, as far as I understand, the animals killed, they drain the blood. Here. Most of the countries. Most elsewhere. Yes, Samuel.
Why does I cut the head off, not the feet?
Why do they cut the head off instead of the feet and let the blood drain through the feet? I think they cut a few places. They cut the few key major veins to drain the animal.
Could the, is it like, do some countries also like put in a machine and the machine just cuts them up and blah blah blah?
Or put them in a machine and then machine cuts them up. Now the main thing is for the believer not purposely want to eat animals' blood. Okay? How you kill, as long as the desire in you is not to eat the blood. To eat the blood. Now I must remind you two things. So God's instruction is that. Now let's turn to why? Let's turn to Leviticus. Oh no, Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 23. Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 23. Deuteronomy chapter 12. Elim is good now. Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 23. Let's read together. Only be sure that thou... Okay, so this is the reason why God says don't. God tells us. So Caleb, what's the reason? What reason did God say don't eat blood? Because the blood, the life is in the blood. Don't eat the flesh with the blood. Okay, that's God's principle. Don't ask so much, but that is God's principle. And you notice this is one law. This is one law which you can eat any animals that has changed. Specific, direct command. You can eat. So how do you know can or not? The Bible tells us. Acts chapter 10. Why blood? God, in the New Testament, God continues to say, don't eat blood. Okay, so now I need to answer Caleb's question. So what happens if your nose bleeds and then blood goes into your mouth and you accidentally swallow some? What do you do? What happens? Have you sinned? Have you sinned? No. Why not? It is not your desire to eat and drink blood. Now, unless when the blood is coming out and you go, because you love it so much, you put a straw here and come in here. So, alright? Then you realize, I love blood. Tastes like Ribena. No, alright? So you don't. It is about that desire to consume the blood. That is the point. Okay, that's the point. Okay, Caleb? It is not intentional. It's not your desire. I hope not. Right? You don't have to, I need to spit it out. You know, if you're near me and you're bleeding, I hope you swallow it. Right? You don't have to spit it out and all things. Well, some of us spit it out because we don't like the taste of blood. Okay, so that is the problem. Now, what happens? What about if you ate KFC? Do you drain every single drop of blood out of the chicken at KFC? No. When you fry the chicken, that tastes so good, and then you open up and you say, hey, there's some blood in there. So Vincent, would you make sure that you remove all the blood if we go to your branch to eat?
No, I don't have time to remove.
You don't have time. So you don't have time, you don't care if we sin. So how? If there's some blood inside, Daddy and mommy cook chicken, cook beef, sometimes there's blood in it, right? You just had barbecue at the park. When we're eating, I noticed some of the meat has a bit of blood in it. So how? Can eat or not, Noah?
I guess you can eat, just maybe avoid the blood area.
Avoid the blood area. Now, the main point is, again, it's not about it's about our desire to eat blood. There is no such thing, as far as I know, unless I'm wrong, correct me, but as far as I know, you can never drain 100% of the blood from an animal. There will be some. That's why no matter how you drain, even when they drain, when they cut, there will be some blood. Okay? So, it is not the intention. They eat the animal with the blood. They cook it, it's there, they eat it with the blood. They desire that. Okay? Yes?
The question regarding, like if you say KFC, then eat the marrow from the bone, that's the dried marrow, is that considered blood?
Okay, someone asked the same question. Marrow. What's marrow? You ask the question, you explain to the young ones. What's marrow?
So marrow as in bone marrow. So it's basically the dried blood inside the bone. So after you eat the KFC, then the bone is combined into it. So there's some dried blood residue-ish thing inside. It's one of my favorite parts.
Are you sure you understand? No, right? What's he talking about? It's bone marrow blood. Ask the doctor. It's bone marrow blood.
There's a bit, because the bone marrow produces blood, but it's not strictly blood.
Yes, the bone marrow produces the blood, but in itself, it is not defined as biological as blood in itself. All right. So you like bone marrow.
I like a lot of things.
You like a lot of things. Just don't like blood. Okay, so bone marrow, there's nothing wrong. God says blood with the meat. Yes, question? Oh no. Okay, any questions about this? Yes.
Things that you'll be asked, well done, medium rare. The bread is better.
Okay, so when you go to a restaurant and they say, now who all right, so do you like medium rare, or well done meat? Samuel.
Like, can I ask you?
Okay, he has another question first. Yes.
Is white blood better than red blood?
Is white blood better than red blood? Is how do you pronounce it? Corpuscles. Is it? Corpuscles. White and red blood corpuscles are just what is inside the blood. It's not red blood or white blood better. Okay? Anyway, red or white we don't eat. Okay? Red or white we don't eat. Don't drink also. Don't eat, don't drink. Okay? Don't eat, don't drink. Now, okay, so one question is about, what about restaurants say rare, medium rare, or well done? Rare will have blood, right? Quite bloody, right? Medium rare still got blood, right? What's Claude's question?
It's the same actually.
Oh, okay. So husband and wife put that at the same time. What do you like, Claude?
Medium.
Medium. Why?
Not that bloody.
Not that bloody. Why? Because the Bible says don't take blood.
No, just I don't like it.
No, just don't like it. What about you, Esther? You like medium rare because you like the blood. Tastes better with the blood. So is the meat. The meat is more tender, not because you like the blood. Right? Right? Okay. What's the answer? Now, yes.
I tell you, do you remember when you said before what I like?
Okay, yes, I asked you what you like, so you must tell us what you like.
I like well done because it's the best bit.
You like well done because it's the best bit. Wow, okay. I like to eat with you. You can take the well done part. Now, remember the principle is the desire to eat and drink blood, thinking that it gives you certain power. Understand that? That is the principle. Especially the pagans had that. But God simply said, life is in it, don't eat the blood. That is God's principle. Now, if you have a slab of steak, how to draw steak? Then got bones inside. Okay? A piece of steak. A piece of steak. Okay? Now, medium rare means you see blood. Right? You see blood. And then the plate still got blood coming out. Right? As you cut, the blood comes out of the meat and it oozes around your plate. Right? Okay? Now, so if a person's principle is this, now I think some pastors may disagree with me. I don't know. But you think carefully. If Claude and Esther go out and eat, okay? And then Claude says, I want medium. Esther says, I want medium rare. The chef in the kitchen cuts it, all right? The chef in the kitchen, say this, the bone. The chef in the kitchen slice 2 slices. 1 slice for Claude, 1 slice for Esther, right? Now, there will still be some blood inside, correct? You cannot fully drain it, it's inside. Okay? So there'll be some blood inside. Claude's one, shouldn't use red. Now, Esther's one will be reddish, correct? Will be reddish after cooking. Claude's one, from the same piece of animal body, okay? From same piece of animal body, Claude's one will be dry, not much blood. From the same piece of animal, okay? Now, if the principle is we cannot eat medium rare because medium rare has blood. Medium rare has blood, okay? But we can eat medium and well done because no blood. No blood. Now, I ask you, what is wrong with this argument? The adults. Let's see whether the young are listening. Veronica, Jennifer, what's wrong with this argument? This one okay because, this one not okay because got blood. This one okay because no blood. What's wrong with the argument? Assuming it's wrong. Not sure. I asked the parents that cook. Grace, you cook steak? Good. What's wrong with this argument? Christians can only eat this but not this. No medium rare, no rare, only well done. This one has blood, not cooked properly. What about this one? Why this one got no blood? Oozing out. Because the blood inside is cooked also. Understand that? It's not that this one has no blood, it's from the same cut. There is blood inside here. It's just that the blood got cooked. So when you cut, it didn't flow out in liquid form. Right or not? Right? So are you still eating, is Claude still eating blood here? Claude is still eating blood, just that Claude didn't see the blood flow out. They are cooked inside the meat. Right? It's the same. Whether you cook this way or this way, you're still eating blood. But you're not eating blood because you want to eat blood. Understand that? Unless you tell the chef, medium rare or well done, and then you say, medium rare and pour some blood on top. Now that's different. You want to eat blood. Understand? Lost. Okay, try again. The young ones must understand. You know, medium rare meat, cooked medium rare, that when you cut, the blood comes out, right? Right or not, Veronica? So, can you eat or not? Because there's blood. So you must eat well done. Then you don't see the blood. But actually, you're still eating blood because the blood is cooked. That's all. Okay, parents, go back and explain to them tonight. Now, that answers Noah's question. Noah say, why God says eat blood? Why not drink blood? Alright? So, when blood is cooked, you eat it. You can't drink it. When it's not cooked, okay, you can drink it. But the point is, don't consume blood for the purpose and desire of consuming for power and whatever. And God simply says, don't consume. When God says don't consume, then we have to still settle this question. I think there are some pastors that say absolutely cannot eat this way. But actually, in my mind, you're still eating blood. If you cook very well done, you're still eating blood. You just don't see it, that's all. God didn't say you cannot not see blood and eat. God says simply don't eat. And the meaning means don't consume it for that desire. Okay? Maybe that's why they have movies like Dracula. Make people like, oh, drinking blood is great. Any further questions about this one? Yes.
If you don't have a desire to eat blood, but an animal was strangulated, can you still eat it?
If you don't have a desire to eat blood,
But the animal that was killed was strangulated.
oh, okay, so good question. All right, the question is this. The Bible says don't eat anything strangled, right? Now, if you eat a chicken that the blood is drained, but the chicken was strangled, the way it was killed, it was strangled, can you still eat it? Means you're not wanting to eat the blood. It's just the animal was killed by strangling. Now, most of the understanding is this strangling has to do with keeping the blood in the animal. It's the way to kill in which you will be able to eat the blood. It's not so much it's more cruel or not, like Samuel said. Because the reality is, slitting the throat, cutting the body to let the blood drain is far more cruel than just, right? Yeah. So I would not think it has to do with cruelty, pain and all that. It has more to do with draining the blood. Okay, yes, Noah.
If you leave the blood too long inside the animal, does it like start to get big or?
If you leave, why do you want to know that? If you leave blood in the animal for too long, will it become thick? Medically, yes, right? Medically, yes. Okay, that's why when Christ died on the cross, they pierced his side. They pierced his side, right? Why did they pierce his side? Ignatius. Okay, when Christ died, so Noah's question is, if you leave blood in the body, in an animal, a dead animal, for too long, will the blood become thick? So when a person dies, okay, a fat person with a lot of blood, okay, when a person dies, medically, as far as I understand, or put it this way, why did they pierce the Lord Jesus? Is to check whether he's dead or not, right? But to them, they assume he's dead. No, they are not saying if he haven't died, let's kill him. It's not that. The Bible describes what came out. Elaine, what came out? Blood, water, and water and blood. Water and blood came out. Why not just blood? Noah, so now you guess. Why Christ was dead for some time already? Why there is not just blood but water and blood? Not sure. Because the blood now thickens and maybe even harden. What comes out is separated from the body water. You can see physically, blobs maybe, or what, I don't know. Okay, so yes, it thickens. That is how the Roman soldier know whether someone is dead. The person is dead long enough, the blood inside thickens. It separates from the body fluids and all that. That's what we understand. Okay, that's how the Roman soldiers determine. Okay, we got to go. So I'll answer some more questions the next time. Let us pray. What do we have here? Top 5 reasons why church dropouts. What church dropouts say, why they stop attending church. Now please remember 66% of, well, I take the American view, they are the most readily available results. They stop attending church at least a year after turning 18. So from